Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. He's keeping us on time, on track, making me concentrate and focus. Actually, maybe we should have Dr. Mike Smith put Daryl in a bottle and everybody could have instant focus with the Daryl Wayne product. What do you think, Daryl?
Well, we're at least on time and on track. Let's put it that way.
All right, got it. We're worrying about working on the focus part. We have Dr. Mike Smith on our line from Life Extension. They're one of our favorite supplement companies. He is a scientist and spokesperson, senior scientist and spokesperson for Life Extension. Dr. Mike, how are you today?
Mark, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Great meeting you a few weeks ago in Anaheim at the Natural Products Association. It was fun. We had our little video had at least 100 people look at it, and which was kind of nice because
awesome.
It was fun. I wanted to talk about belly fat. And
everybody does, right?
Everybody has it, right? And so I want to talk about getting rid of it. A number of years ago, in a small town in Italy, and I do not know which town, they passed a law outlawing women to wear bikinis if it wasn't appropriate, okay, if they were fat.
Yeah.
And so the women in the town said, wait a second,
good.
right? This is sexist. And so they modified this to say that men could not wear Speedos if they hung over their Speedos by 2 inches.
And so that knocked out most of the men, right?
Absolutely, it did. Exactly.
Right.
And I always think that that's such a funny story. I don't even know if it's true, but it should be.
Yeah. I mean, it's the problem. It's twofold, right? So on one hand, we don't want to promote this idea that we have to look like models, right? We have to be careful with that.
Absolutely.
A little body fat is not necessarily a bad thing. What we're talking about, of course, the problem in this country, Mark, is the excess belly fat, the overweight, the obesity, the morbid obese. That's really what we're trying to focus on. We're trying to help those people. A little bit of fat actually can be protective for you. So I don't think we need laws about bikinis and Speedos and stuff.
No, maybe the Speedos though. I would go with the Speedos in a heartbeat.
No Speedos. Doesn't matter fat or not. Just no Speedos.
Absolutely, no Speedos at all. Get rid of it. But besides being cosmetically unappealing, it's been proven time and time again that excess belly fat can cause cardiovascular disease, blood pressure, and a multitude of other things. Why do we get it, first of all? And two, how do we get rid of it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So there's a lot of research into why do we put on the extra fat, the excess fat, around the waist. Now, not everybody does that. There are different body types and stuff like that. But for the most part, Mark, when we're talking about aging adults, especially as guys, we tend to get, we in Texas, Mark, we call it the Dunlop disease. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's when your belly Dunlop over
Daryl
your belt
has.
buckle.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So we definitely we see this. It's happening to more and more Americans as we get older. Why does it accumulate there? Well, the latest theories that I think have some credibility to them really are focusing on stress, cortisol, and inflammation. It does seem that when you combine those two together, throw in a little bit what's called the metabolic syndrome, where your cholesterol is a little off, your triglycerides are a little off, your blood pressure is a little off, you're a little stressed out. That kind of scenario or that environment really does increase the size of fat cells in the abdomen. And of course, and you hit it on the nail on the head, right? And that it's that fat, it's that type of fat that increases waist circumference, which is a big cardiovascular risk factor. It is linked to cerebral vascular disease and even an increased risk of certain types of cancer. So definitely something we need to control. Now, I already just kind of threw out a few things there for you, right? I mean, stress inflammation. If we're gonna deal with that belly fat, we definitely need to de-stress as much as we can in our lives. We need to ease chronic inflammation.
And we've talked about
great things.
Right.
Yeah.
We've talked on the show about meditation. We talked about it with Dave Foreman earlier today to reduce stress. Meditation, prayer, whatever you want to call it, is one way. You mentioned something that I wasn't aware of: cerebral problems, which could dementia,
Sure.
Alzheimer's, stroke.
Well, yeah, the stroke is really the risk that I was referring to. But we do know in general, if you just simply go to a nice Google search, go to a respected medical website or journal, and just look up obesity and the consequences or the potential risks of being obese, and you'll see just about everything lines up, from cancer, stroke, heart attack, metabolic syndrome, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something we want to control, and it is interesting that you focused on that belly fat, because that's really the fat that concerns us. Even if you're not overweight or, let's say, obese, if you're not in those ranges, maybe you just need to lose 10, 20 pounds, but your waist circumference has increased 2-3 inches, that's a risk. That's a risk for cardiovascular disease. So we definitely need to talk about, other than de-stressing, what are some of the ways we can burn that belly fat?
One of the things that I know that I've been talking about for the last few years is the fact that fat is not necessarily bad. It depends on where it comes from. In other words, having olive oil in your diet is preferable to beef suet.
Well, great point, right? So we already know that a lot of the studies that came out in the 1950s and 60s and even into the 70s that started to make fat, the dietary fat, the criminal, we were all now going to start on low-fat diets because fat was the connection to cholesterol and heart disease risk. We know that those studies were flawed. Dietary fat, for the most part, is not really what we're talking about. What we've learned, again, it goes to that stress, it goes to inflammation, and we also know the liver, which is, I think most people appreciate that the liver is your detox organ, but your liver is also there to make fat and break down fat when you need a little extra fuel. And we know as we get older, for whatever reason, the genetics of the liver cells change a little bit, and they're making more fat than they're breaking it down. So it is possible to be on a low-fat diet and still gain weight because of some of these other things in your life, like stress, inflammation, and your liver itself.
And we have the fatty liver syndrome? Huge problem. I don't know if I told you this, Mark. I was a radiologist before I came over to the natural side. Before you saw the light, yes.
Before I crossed over, right? Whatever phrases we would have used.
We are talking with Dr. Mike from Beyond.
Yeah, and I was a radiologist in my past, and I could tell you. I mean, I thousands of CAT scans I looked at. And, probably 30-40% of these people had fatty liver and they didn't even know it. So it is a big thing when the liver's saturated with fat like that. It actually makes more, and it does less of its job in detoxification. So yeah, we're trying to life extension. We've been spending a lot of. Here's what we don't want to do. We're not trying to find that magic pill, where you take it for 3 weeks and you're going to lose 30 pounds. You see on the commercials. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're really trying to look at is what's really driving the fat development as we get older. And one of the things, and I know you know about this, Mark, as we talked about this, one of the enzyme systems that we're really focused on life extension in your cell is called AMPK. It's adenosine monophosphate protein kinase, and we'll just call it AMPK. It's important because that enzyme system is really what tells your cells, especially your liver cells, whether you should store fat or burn fat. And as we get older, we have learned through the studies that AMPK system is depressed. So instead of burning fat, you're building it more and more. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to target that system more, rev it up, enhance it, so that your body will burn the fat more, and then you couple that with exercise, you couple that with eating better, and the weight loss can come.
Well, I was given a bottle of AMPK, a metabolic activator, and I was told, look, this is not Dr. Mike told me this is not you're not gonna drop pounds every day. I've been on it for, I think it's been 3 weeks now, something like that.
Yeah.
And I've lost about 4 pounds. I know this. I'm not a scale jumper on her, but I don't. And you've seen me. I don't think I'm overweight, but I am heavier than I've ever been in my life. And I've lost 4 pounds. I was at the doctor last week. They made me get on a scale, and then they said, what have you been doing? Because you lost 4.5 pounds since last year, which is great. And I know for a fact that I don't eat as healthily as I should, and we've made some modifications in the last 2 months, and we're eating more vegetarian at least once a week. We haven't been big beef eaters, so we've almost eliminated that from our diet, and I'm using a lot more organic olive oil.
Yeah, that's great. And so when you think now, so you couple that, you're eating better, and you told me you were at the gym. You couple that then what's happening to you metabolically speaking. What you've done is you've rebalanced your cells, especially those liver cells, to where they are utilizing the fat as an energy source more readily because you've reactivated the AMPK enzyme system. And that's what's key. Now, again, when you couple this kind of by the way, AMPK, just so your listeners know, we've known about this system for a long time. As a matter of fact, a diabetic drug called metformin is an AMPK activator, and guess what? When diabetics go on metformin, they lose weight.
Right.
Because you're rebalancing. Not only is their sugar coming down, which is good, you're rebalancing this energy utilization process in your cells, and that leads to the less buildup of fat and the more burning of it. So those results are fantastic for you, Mark. Continue to take the AMPK and continue with your diet and exercise program.
No, absolutely. And with metformin, they also prescribe it, docs prescribe it for what they call metabolic syndrome or prediabetes.
Absolutely, and it makes sense when you think about if your cells, Mark, especially those liver cells, if they're not able to manage energy properly, and if you're, when you eat some carbs, you eat some fat, instead of properly utilizing those macronutrients, your body just does one thing. If your body doesn't know what to do with it, it always knows this: store it up as fat. Your body is so geared toward not starving, right? And so whenever you're bringing in food, if you're not managing those macronutrients, your body just simply says, fine, just store it away and we'll figure it out later.
Got it.
And one of those reasons is that dampened AMPK. So we have a product that is 2 plant-based extracts. You take it, you reactivate the AMPK, and you're rebalancing that energy utilization, and look at the results you're getting.
And I'm dropping some weight, and I'm not really working out that hard yet. I want to, but I'm taking it slow and easy. Yeah, the AMPK metabolic activator from Life Extension is really something that you should take a look at. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Darrell Wayne. Dr. Mike Smith is our guest from Life Extension. We're going to take some time out. We'll be back. Join us at latenightshealth.com. We'll have an article from Dr. Smith on the website, as well as his photo and a link to Life Extension. Don't go away as Late Night Health continues.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. Hope is one of those words that has no synonyms. It just simply is, and it's something that you'll have in your life as long as you want it. You can only lose hope when you choose to let go of it. So why let go? Each day of your life is a blank canvas, and you will always have a choice on how you paint it. It takes courage to take a journey of hope, but it's up to you to take that first step. And it's always accomplished by taking one step at a time. Hope is the greatest beacon you have to help you find your way out of the shadows of darkness, back to the light of a new day.
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.
If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.